Hello guys, welcome to Cinema Ultimate. In this video, I will show an action film, Nobody, 2021. The film is directed by Ilya Naishuller and stars Bob Odenkirk. It is an action film by Derek Kolstad, who is also the writer of the John Wick film. This film tells about the life of a former hitman who must return to action because he is often belittled and neglected by his family. He must face the mafia group to protect his family. What's next? Here's a movie recap. Nobody, 2021. The film opens with a scene of a middle-aged man being interrogated by two officers. However, casually, he took out a cigarette and cat food. When asked who he was, he simply replied, "Nobody," and the movie started. At the beginning of the film, we are shown the life of Hutch Mansell, played by Bob Odenkirk. He has a normal life with his wife, Becca, played by Connie Nielsen, and their two children, Blake Mansell and daughter, Sammy Mansell. Hutch had a very monotonous daily routine that seemed boring to him. Every morning he wakes up, runs a few miles, eats breakfast, skips the garbage man for seconds every week, scans the same transit card every day, then heads off to work by bus from his suburban home to his work as an auditor at his father-in-law's factory. And after work, Hutch visited his father at the retirement home almost every day. Until one day at night, a pair of amateur thieves came to his house. The thief threatened him with a shot. Then Hutch took the golf club and walked over to him. Hutch saw the shot and the tattoo on his hand. Then his son, Blake, came to attack them, but Hutch, instead of helping the fight, let them take the money and left. This angered his teenage son deeply, as Hutch refused to fight the criminals who attacked his family. Plus one of the police who also underestimated him. The next day, as a result of the incident, Blake and even his wife became increasingly distant from him. Then his neighbors, and then his wife's family. His brother-in-law was so disappointed in Hutch that he had to fire a shot to protect his family. But Hutch put him in the fridge instead. Soon, Hutch is seen talking to a mysterious man using a radio device. It seems that Hutch had a very scary past and is trying not to do it again. Then Hutch went to his father's place. While talking about the incident that night, it was discovered that Hutch had an adopted brother. Hutch hid a big secret about who he was from his wife and two children. Then Hutch returned home, and found his daughter missing her cat collar. Annoyed, Hutch returned to where his father had gotten a gun, then went looking for the thief who had been to his house with the tattoo clues on his hand. Intending to look for it at a tattoo parlor, Hutch was even recognized by a man who was at the tattoo parlor. Long story short, Hutch found him and rushed to the thief's house. Hutch shot straight at him and asked for his daughter's missing cat bracelet. However, he didn't get it, and again he didn't want to attack them because it turned out that they had a baby. Finally, Hutch came home very upset and vented his frustration in the rain. Soon Hutch got home on the bus. Then came a group of young people who seemed to want to make a fuss on the bus. Hutch watched him and hoped they would make a mess soon so Hutch could vent his frustration, and sure enough it did. Hutch fought them one by one. He killed them so brutally that some of them almost died. Unable to bear it, Hutch helped him and went home. Elsewhere, a man is seen walking into a club. He is Yuliy, a Russian mafia who is rich and has quite a lot of business connections. Then he got a call that his brother was in the hospital. It turned out that the brother in question was one of the children Hutch beat up on the bus that night. Yuliy immediately went to the hospital very angry, and in annoyance he asked his brother's friends one by one about who did it. And one of them gave his a Hutch card which had fallen on the bus. Yuliy and his team find out who Hutch really is. Since Hutch's identity is hard to find, they use connections to find him. And finally one of Yuliy's men got information about who Hutch was, but at that moment, she just quit his job with Yuliy. Looks like Hutch is a pretty scary person. Even so, Yuliy still wants to continue her pursuit of Hutch by gathering his men to attack Hutch. The scene shifts when Hutch has dinner with his wife and two children, as he wants to improve relations with his family. However, as soon as he saw from the window, a group of people approached them. Hutch immediately rushed to send his wife and two children into the secret room. And he immediately paralyzed the people who attacked him. At that time, unexpectedly Hutch was hit by a stun that made him faint, then Hutch was taken to their car. It didn't take long, Hutch was able to get out of the situation and finish them off one by one. Hutch immediately returned home and asked his wife and 2 children to leave while seeking refuge elsewhere. Then his wife and 2 children rushed out of the house with questions in their hearts. Then Hutch packs up and prepares gold bars, while trying to find out who was the mastermind behind the attack on his house. Hutch rushed off and set his house on fire, taking a bag and his neighbor's car. On the other hand, Hutch's father was approached by some of Yuli's men. However, his father had already prepared a weapon against them. Back to Hutch, who was negotiating to buy his father-in-law's office building with some gold bars he prepared. Then Hutch prepared the building very carefully to give a plan to the people who would attack him later. Hutch comes to Yuli's place, the Russian mafia. Hutch attacks Yuli's people and burns the money. Then Hutch came to the club where Yuli was casually. Yuli, who saw it, immediately approached him, and because Hutch was carrying a bomb in his hand, Yuli immediately ordered his men out of the room. Then they negotiate. Yuli seems to be quite calm, but when Hutch informs that he has run out of money, Yuli immediately gets angry. Hutch challenged Yuli if he dared, Hutch would be waiting for him from the car. Sure enough, Yuli fell into the trap. Yuli and his group chase and attack him. Gunfire took place along the way. Hutch struggled to survive until he brought them to the building, the one he had prepared to kill them off. Unexpectedly, his adopted brother, who came from nowhere, was already in the building, and even his father also helped him there. They fight the mafia one by one from the traps he prepared to the bombs in his building. With a fairly brutal action, they killed the mafia until only Yuli was left. However, at that time all their weapons were exhausted and they didn't know how to fight Yuli. It is known, Hutch still has a bomb which he sticks to a bulletproof glass and runs to Yuli to attack him. Then Yuli died because of the bomb. Finally, they managed to beat Yuli and the mafia group. At the end of the film, there are 2 officers interrogating Hutch. Then the officer receives an unknown call from where? Possibly from his superiors, asking to release Hutch. From this we know that Hutch is not a random person. And they also wondered who he was. He casually took out cigarettes and cat food. When asked who he was, he just answered, "Nobody." And the film is over. Okay guys. If you like our channel, support us with subscribe and turn on the bell, like, comment, and share, so that you don't miss our next video and our channel can grow even more. See you guys.